Russia warns Israel over flooding tunnels in Gaza. War crime.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russia has responded to claims that Israel was considering flooding tunnels in the Gaza Strip it considered to be part of the Hamas network, saying that such a move would be a war crime. On Friday, the U.S. vetoed a draft United Nations Security Council resolution to demand an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the war that has raged between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, since the Palestinian militants launched an attack on southern Israel on October 7. These could flood with seawater Hamas's vast network of tunnels under the Gaza Strip, according to U.S. officials cited by The Wall Street Journal. Such flooding could be considered analogous to, "do not spare them" order. But it is not only about that and not only about civilians who may be in those tunnels, the statement read. Of course, there most likely will be civilians, for where else would they go from the indiscriminate bombing of Gaza? When contacted for a response, the IDF told Newsweek it had no comment on Russia's claims. Over the last 2 months, Russia has repeatedly condemned Israel's actions in Gaza, with Vladimir Putin initially blaming the Hamas attacks in Israel as a clear example of the failed policy in the Middle East of the United States. The conflict in Gaza has also undermined Kyiv's calls for weapons, as the U.S. continues to provide military and moral support for Israel. Overnight Friday, Israeli warplanes continued bombardments, the Associated Press reported, adding that the death toll in the Gaza Strip had surpassed 17,400.
This post received a score of 11,000, with an upvote ratio of 86%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Entrust us, we know war crimes.
War crimes are us. War crimes are us? See ya.
Pick a war crime, any war crime.
Our secret is volume.
Quantity has a quality all its own. Joseph Stalin.
Low prices, high volume is the key to successful crime. Joey Stalin.
Filling their black pot to the brim.
Oh yeah, the experts in flooding something to get rid of something in something.
But wait, did they not also mine a nuclear power station?
Also dug trenches in irradiated soil near Chernobyl. Whoopsie.
To be fair, I'm not sure that digging a trench in the red forest of Chernobyl is a war crime. It's just a dumbass thing to do.
Being that stupid is already a crime against humanity.
If stupidity were a crime.
Didn't Russia destroy a dam in Ukraine?
And about a fifth of the whole country on top, yes.
And stole grain supplies.
And children.
And their parents' lives.
After a session of rape and torture, of course. Russia is a country of terrorists. A shiv in the side of civilized society.
Did you see the bucket of gold teeth they yanked? It was pretty early in the war. They had a plastic tote, filled with gold teeth they pulled from their victims.
And tortured civilians.
Didn't these guys blow up a massive dam just so they didn't have to lose?
Strategic irrigation.
Special irrigation operation.
Russia talking about war crimes sound more like an encouragement.
They got the Geneva checklist.
Checked off every aspect of the crime of genocide.
The secret ingredient as crime?
Egypt flooded tunnels with sewage 10 years ago. Awful, said Abu Mattia Shalouf, 35, a Palestinian smuggler on the Gaza side, watching workers haul buckets of sewage-soaked soil from the shaft of a tunnel flooded by the Egyptian military 15 days ago. I don't know why they did this. Lol.
What did they mean by this?
I remember one diplomat once lashed out in an international meeting, "Who are you to fucking lecture us?" Now who was that? Ah yes, Sergei Lavrov.
Let's not pretend this Lavrov is a diplomat.
He used to be quite professional. But then, the Russian world took him over like it did so many others.
He looks like he eats cigarettes and children.
The world's worst living war criminal is pointing fingers.
It's between him and his fucktoy, Al-Assad.
At this point, Russia is just trolling the world with all the war crime comments, right?
Correct, and the world is falling for it.
Russia kidnaps children and brutalizes women. You are bedfellows with rapists and the Ives.
Russia is one of the biggest committers of war crimes in the world, yet dares to lift a correcting finger at Israel. And of all things that Israel is doing, of which not everything is 100% kosher either, this is what they picked. A bit of a stretch for the country that blew up the Kherson Dam and not only inundated Ukrainian homes, but also its own military structures on its own side of the river. Hey.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.